Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Make sure this is working. Hope you had a restful night's sleep. It was nice to see many of you online last night and to be able to be with Cantor Emily this morning. It is just me. We're back in our sanctuary, but we are excited together to celebrate Shabbat. And we'll do as we always do. We'll start with a little singing, wake ourselves up a little bit. Yallai la 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 yallai la 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 yallai la 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 yalla la yalla la ay la 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 yallai la 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 ay la 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 yalla la yalla la ay la 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 yalla la yalla la ay la 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 yalla la la ya Shalom, everyone. Before we get started, we'll take a moment for ourselves. At home, if you'd like to close your eyes, just to reflect for a few moments. Open our eyes, let's take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and I hope that you got the email this week that they fixed the pagination of the online version, so I don't have to announce 2 sets of pages anymore, but it's important that you are using the proper one, the updated one, so I hope that you got that information. If not, let me know, so I'll make sure for next week. But otherwise, the pages that I'm announcing in the book are the exact same as what you should be seeing online. So we'll begin our service together with thanks and gratitude on page 186. Modeh ani lefanecha melech hai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha melech hai v'kayam. Thanks to you, ever-living sovereign, that you have restored my soul to me in mercy. How great is your trust. We turn now to page 192, very top of the page, Matovu. Matovu, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Israel. Turn now to page 194, and this morning let's read together in Hebrew at the top of the page, a blessing for our bodies. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam bechokma, uvaravo nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim. Galui v'yadua lifnei chisech avodecha, she'im yipatech echad mehem, o yisatem echad mehem, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. And now we are on page 196, very top of the page. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bihi. Tehora tehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bihi. Neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Join me at the bottom of the page in English. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch atah Adonai, asher bi'ado nefesh kol chai, veruach kol besar ish. We rise, if we're able, at home as we turn to page 198 in gratitude for daily miracles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasachvi vina lafchid ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layahev koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Amavir shena meinai utnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Please be seated at home. We now turn and read together on the top of page 205 in English. Again, the top reading on page 205. We seekers of God, how do we find you? In good deeds and in the study of Torah. In your search for us, you find us in the bending of the knee, in the rigor of study, in the honesty of commerce, through a good heart, through decency, in respect, true fellowship, companionship, and love. Through truth and peace, and the no that is really no, and the yes that is really yes. Baruch atah Adonai hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. We're on page 206. Elu devarim she'ein lahem shiur, she'adam ochel pirotehem be'olam hazeh, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא, ואלו הן חיבור ורב בהם וגמילות חסדים, והשכמת בית המדרש שחרית וערבית, והכנסת אורחים וביקור חולים, והכנסת כלה לוויית המת ועיון תפילה, והבאת שלום בין אדם לחברו, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולם. We rise at home if we're able as we turn to page 212 for the opening blessing of Pezukei Zimra. Baruch she'amar ve'haya ha'olam baruch hu, Baruch oseh ve'reshit, Baruch omer ve'yosem, Baruch kozer u'mekayem, Baruch merachem al haaretz, Baruch merachem al habriot, Baruch meshalem sachar tov lireav, Baruch halad v'kayam lanetzach, Baruch modeh u'matzil, Baruch shemo, b'shvachot u'b'zmirot negadelcha, unshabecha v'panerecha v'nazkir shimcha v'namlichecha, Malkeinu Eloheinu, Yachid chei olamim, Melech meshubach u'mufoar de'ad shemo hagadol, Baruch atah Adonai, Melech mehulal batishbachot. Please be seated at home. We're now on page 214, second line down in Hebrew. Tov leodot l'Adonai, Tov leodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, Tov leodot l'Adonai, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, ואמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני. עלי אסור ולנבל, עלי גיון בכינור, ישימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מה גדלו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מה גדלו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. Ashrei is on the adjoining page, page 215. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Yalelucha, Od Yalelucha. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Yalelucha, Od Yalelucha. Selah Shem. page 218, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, 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 El Bekocho, hallelujah, Merkiauzo, hallelujah, Bigvurotav, hallelujah, Kerov Gudom, hallelujah, 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 Vetek HaShofar, hallelujah, Benebel Bechinor, hallelujah, Betofu Machol, hallelujah, Beminim Veugav, hallelujah, 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 Betziatzalei Shama, hallelujah, Betziatzalei Trua, Kol Hanshama Tehalelia, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Nishmat kol chai, tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. We continue on page 219 silently to the bottom of the page. We're now on page 220, the very top of the page. Ilu finu maleh shira kayam, ulshonehinu rina kamon galav, vesivtotenu shevach kemachivei rakiyam, ve'einenu meirot kashemesh v'chayareach, ve'yadenu frusot kenishrei shamayim, ve'ragleinu kalot kayalot, ein anachnu maspikim lehodot lecha, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, levarech et Shalom. Now on page 222, the second paragraph down from the top of the page in Hebrew. Shochenad varom vekadosh shemo vechatur hanenu tzadikim Adonai la yesharim nabat tehillah befi yesharim titalalu divrei tzadikim titbarach ubelshon בקרב קדושים, תתקדש ומה קהלות, רבבות עמך בית ישראל ברינה יתפאר, שמך מכרנו בכל דור ודור. יא בביי, יא בביי, ביי ביי ביי, יא בביי, יא בביי, ביי ביי, יא ביי ביי, יא בביי, יא בביי, ביי ביי ביי, יא בביי, יא בביי, יא ביי ביy. We rise if we're able at home as we turn to page 223 for the concluding blessing of Pesukei de Zimra, and remain standing through the Chatzi Kaddish and the Baruch Hu on the next two pages. Yishtabach Shimcha Ad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VeHaKadosh B'Shamayim u'Ba'aretz Ki Lecha Na'e Adonai Eloheinu Eloi Avotenu Imotenu Asher Ushbacha Alav Zimra Ozu Memshala Netzach Gedula U'Gvura Tehila V'Tiferet Kedusha U'Malchut Brachot Ve'Hodaot Me'ata V'Yad Olam Baruch Ata Adonai El Melech Gadol V'Tishbachot El HaHodaot Adonai Niflaot Abocher V'Shirei Zimra Melech El Chei HaOlamim. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'elmad Yirachirtei Ve'amlich Malchutei V'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yeshmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam le'amei amayam Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitvar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'ale v'yitalal shemei dekudsham richu Leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma v'imeru Amen. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated at home. We're now on page 228. We'll begin by reading together in English at the bottom of the page, and then the Hebrew in the 3 lines just above the English paragraph. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai, in wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Or Chadash, Al Zion Ta'ir. Or Chadash, Al Zion Ta'ir. V'nizkechu lanu me'era le'orom. V'nizkechu lanu me'era le'orom. Yadadai bim bam, yadadai bim bam, yadadai bim bam, yadadai. Yadadai bim bim bam, yadadai bim bam, yadadai Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Turn now to page 230. We'll begin by reading together in English at the top of the page and then the Hebrew at the bottom. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears, whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Ve'ha'ereinu b'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha ve'yachel levaveinu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha ve'lo nevosh ve'lo nikalem ve'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed ki b'shem kohochecha agadol ve'anora batachnu nagila v'nismecha v'yeshuatecha ve'avienu leshalom me'arba kanfot haaretz ve'tolichenu kol b'miut le'artzeinu ki el poel yeshuot ata ubanu b'charta ve'keravtanu leshimcha Hagadol Sela Be'emet Leodot Lecha Al Yechecha V'Yahava Baruch Ata Adonai Habocher B'Amo Yisrael V'Yahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'elah asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha ve'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha v'veitecha u'lechtecha v'derech ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות הידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך. We're now on page 236. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת להם, ועשו להם ציצית. על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית על כנף בתיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We read together now on the top of page 239, and then we quickly move back to the Hebrew on the other side of the page at the very bottom. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way, True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. Bye 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 bye. Ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bye. Ay bye 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 ya bye 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 bye. Tehilot le'elyon Baruch hu mevorach Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Israel lechanu shira b'simcha rabba ve'amru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh norat tehiloto sefer bye 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 שירה חדשה שיפכו גאולים לשמך על שפתיהם יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל ופדי חינומך יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We begin the Amidah together on page 242 and then continue silently. Please go at your own pace, and when you're finished, you may be seated. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Ask those at home who are able, if you're seated, to please rise. If you're standing, please remain standing as we turn to page 324 for the repetition of the Amidah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ורחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated at home. We're on page 329, very top of the page. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם יספרו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Vehashvi'i Ratzita Bo Vekidashto Shabbat Chem Nehat Yamim Otoker Hata Shabbat Yismechu Vemalechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu Vemalechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Zecher Lemasei Bereshit Shabbat Zecher Lemase Bereshit Shabbat Yismechu V'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Eloheinu v'Eloi Avotenu v'Imotenu Ritzei, Ritzei, b'mnuchatenu Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha V'ten chelkenu b'toratecha Sahabenu mituvecha V'samechenu yeshuatecha V'taher libenu Le'ovdecha Ve'anchilenu Adonai Eloheinu Ein 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Elai lai 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 Me'avav ratzon Shabbat kodshecha Veinuchuva Yisrael Mekadshei Shemecha Baruch Ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Turn now to page 330 and read together in English in the middle of the page. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility, that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves, and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. Baruch Ata Adonai, she'otcha levatcha bira navod. Turn now to page 332 and then to 333 as we offer our prayer of thanks and gratitude to God. We'll read each paragraph in English, and the end of each paragraph we'll say in Hebrew, Modim anachnu lach, as we offer that gratitude to God for these gifts. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fair world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha da'eh lehodot. Our prayer for peace, page 334. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'hachesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, varcheinu yotzreinu kulanu kechad, be'or panecha, ki be'or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'hachesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torat chaim ve'ahavat chesed, ve'ahavat chesed, u'tzedaka u'veracha berachamim v'chaim v'shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'hachesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, ve'tov einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, bechol eit ubechol shah, bishlomecha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'hachesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Let's read together on the top of page 337. Prayer is not purely an act. All things pray and all things pour forth their souls. The heavens pray, the earth prays, every creature and every living thing. In all life there is longing. Creation is itself but a longing, a kind of prayer to the Almighty. What are the clouds of the rising and the setting of the sun, the soft radiance of the moon and the gentleness of the night? What are the flashes of the human mind and the storms of the human heart? They are all prayers, the wordless outpouring of boundless longing for God. Oseh shalom imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Seder Kriyat Torah, the Torah service begins on page 362. If you're able at home, please rise. Ein kamocha b'Elohim Adonai, v'ein kema'asecha. Malchutcha, Malchut, Kol Olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai Melech, Adonai Malach, Adonai Imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai Oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Yerushalayim ki v'chal Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Kdushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai Tiruneo Bema Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai Hagedula Ve'Hagedura Ve'Atiferet Ve'Anetzach Ve'Havod Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Ba'aretz Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Ba'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha Ve'amid Nahaseh Lechol Erosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu Le'akodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'ishtachavu Le'akodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Okay, please be seated at home. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. This morning we read from Parshat Impure. In a few moments after the drash, we'll read from the section beginning with chapter 23 in the book of Leviticus. So if you're following at home, that's on page 823 in the Plowed Chumash, if you have it. And that is on page 733 if you are following in the Women's Torah Commentary at home. So again, page 733 in the Women's Commentary, page 823 in the Plowed Chumash, both of which are going to quickly move on to the next page. And as I said, if you're following at home, our Torah reading in just a few moments will be the beginning of chapter 23 of the book of Leviticus. And hopefully you can follow along in one of those fashions. So this morning's Parsha Impure is a fascinating Parsha. And it begins as a continuation again of a focus or a theme of this particular section of the Torah, not just the book of Leviticus, but really the latter part of the book of Leviticus, is sort of built around this concept, somewhat amorphous concept, of which we've been in discussion a little bit in Torah study the last few weeks, of this idea of kadosh, this idea of holiness, and all of the things that therefore involve and cross-sect with and result from and are in somewhat opposition to, right, this concept of kadosh, which at best we understand as a manifestation of godliness in the human realm. And the truth is not just in the human realm, right, in the heavens above. So it is perhaps one of the most important concepts within Judaism, and yet at the same time, one of the hardest to understand. And the way the book of Leviticus helps us to understand it is actually through some of, let's say, the mundane tasks of life, right? The ritualistic aspects of life, the daily practices, the observation of the calendar and the holidays. And this particular portion of Impure, we get a lot of discussion about that last element, right? This idea of what Heschel and others have called sacred time, of the moments in our Jewish calendar that we are meant to set aside as being kadosh, as being something other than, as being something sacred, as being something godly. And all of the complications in some ways that result from these requirements and trying to understand what is it that ultimately God is asking of us. So at the beginning of chapter 23, we have this sort of interesting and somewhat repetitious section that begins with a conversation about Shabbat, but then very quickly goes into the listing of really the major holidays in the Jewish calendar and when they are meant to be observed, and even a little bit as to how they are meant to be observed. And it's not that this is the only section of the Torah in which Shabbat is discussed. It certainly is not. And it's not the only section of the Torah in which the holidays are discussed. It certainly is not. But Impure is a place where there is something of a cross-section of these, and in some ways the definition of these key terms that relate to all of these different elements intersect with each other and help us to understand at least a little bit more what, again, this idea of holiness or kadosh is about, and how we as Jews are meant to interact with it, and not just interact with it, but to care for it, to guard it, to remember it, to celebrate it, and to make it a part of our existence. So, first I just want to read the first couple lines from the Parsha, so we're all operating off the same, and then I want to share a teaching from Rabbi Sachs that relates to all this in a really rather beautiful way. So it begins, V'yedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, should sound fairly familiar. Okay, Daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta elehem, moadei Adonai asher tikru'u otam mikra'ei kodesh elehem moadai. Okay, so V'yedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, God spoke to Moses, saying, okay, Daber el bnei Yisrael, gather all the people together and say to them, right, v'amarta elehem, moadei Adonai. Okay, so this is the first place in which we have a sort of strange phrasing. Talked about it a little bit last night, and we've mentioned it in other places, but these Moadei Adonai are understood to be fixed times. Times in which, right, the root in Hebrew here that we're playing with is the same root Eid, that is part of Adas, part of Adat Israel, part of this concept of being a witness to something. Right? So there is something about this time that is about witnessing some element of holiness embodied in God, right? In Adonai, Asher Tikru'u Otam Mikra'ei Kodesh, the fixed times of the eternal, Elahem Moadai, which you shall proclaim as sacred occasions. Okay? And then it goes on to describe Shabbat, and as I said, all the holidays and all that. But in this portion, we have this sort of strange phrasing, again, of this moed, whatever that means, which we'll talk about, and this mikra kodesh, right? This idea of sort of fixed times, and times in which kara, right, vayikra, this idea of calling out, we are meant as human beings to call out the sacredness of these occasions. Okay? So now I wanted to share a teaching from Rabbi Sachs. I believe this is his commentary actually from last year, but I thought it was really a very beautiful teaching. So he writes as follows. It's a little bit long, but it's important. There's something unique about the way Parshat Impure speaks about Shabbat. It calls it a moed and a mikra kodesh, when in the conventional sense of these words, it is neither. Moed means an appointed time with a fixed date on the calendar. Mikra Kodesh means either a sacred assembly, a time at which the nation gathered at the central sanctuary, or a day made holy by proclamation. That is, through the human court's determination of the calendar. I'll just say right now, this is going to be the main focus of our conversation in Torah study. Okay, what does that actually mean? Shabbat is none of these things. It has no fixed date on the calendar. It is not a time of national assembly. And it is not a day made holy by the proclamation of the human court. Shabbat was the day made holy by God, God's self, at the beginning of time. So what he's saying here is basically holidays, right? And we will discuss again in greater detail next door, but holidays are a particular day of a particular month. So that means that holiday, without too many exceptions, could be on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, etc. But Shabbat is always Shabbat. It's always going to fall on the same seventh day of the week according to the Jewish calendar. And it will always happen, and it will happen every single week. So it is not, right, a moed, and it is not a mikra kodesh according to, as Sachs points out, the sort of traditional understanding. So he goes on. The explanation lies in the context in which the passage containing these terms appears. The chapters of the Torah whose primary theme is holiness, and he indicates that chapter 18 and chapter 27 to the end of the book of Leviticus is really again focused on this idea of kadosh, which is what I said at the beginning. The radical claim made in these chapters is that holiness, a term normally reserved for God, can be acquired by human beings when they act like God. The festival stands to Shabbat the way the sanctuary stands to the universe. I'll explain what he means in a second. Both are humanly created domains of holiness, constructed on the model of divine creation and sanctification as they appear at the beginning of Genesis. By inviting human beings to create a sanctuary and determine the monthly and yearly calendar, God invests us with the dignity of a holiness we have not just received passively as a gift, but actively acquired as co-creators with God. Okay, this is a big idea, big concept. And as I said, we'll talk more about what he's referring to in terms of the human aspect of the calendar. But he's pointing to this idea that what we're being told here, what's being described here, both in the building of the Mishkan and eventually the Beit HaMikdash, the temple in Jerusalem, and in the human identification of certain dates that are Mikra'e Kodesh, that are Moadei, right, that we as human beings are meant to proclaim, that is also a human element, right, in which we are participating. In the same way we built the temple, we are also building into our calendars these fixed times. So it requires an active participation, not a passive participation. Holiness is there in front of us, but we have to actually do things in order to bring that holiness either into a physical space or into a space of time, so to speak. So he continues. Mikra'e Kodesh and Moed, as they appear in Leviticus, have an extra sense that they do not bear elsewhere because they evoke the opening verse of the book. He called Vayikra to Moses, and God spoke to Moses in the tent of meeting, the Ohel Moed. The focus is on the Mikra as a call and Moed as a meeting. When the Torah uses these words uniquely in this chapter to apply to Shabbat as well as the festivals, it is focusing on the encounter between God and humanity in the arena of time. Whether it is God's call to us or ours to God, whether God initiates the meeting or we do, holy time becomes a lover's rendezvous, a still point in the turning world when lover and beloved, creator and creation, quote-unquote, make time for one another and know one another in the special form of knowledge that we call love. It's a beautiful, profoundly beautiful way of understanding. And what ultimately Sachs is getting at here is this covenantal relationship that we talk about all the time, but when we usually talk about it, we talk about it in sort of ethereal terms, right? About this sort of thing, this holiness, this relationship with God that's so far away or so hard to wrap our heads around. And what he's saying here is that Judaism's approach to the uniqueness of time, to carving out special times, both the one that happens regularly, right, Shabbat, the one that was gifted to us by God in a regular fashion that will happen no matter what the circumstances are, but also giving us the opportunity to build our own holy moments, in essence, by being the ones who are responsible for marking them on the calendar in the first place and proclaiming them and celebrating them in a public fashion. Right? That's the element where we come in, where we create a sense of sacred time, sacred space. And that the intersection of all of this is best defined by this concept, another ethereal concept, that we call love. Right? In the same way that we have a hard time defining kadosh, defining sacredness, we have a hard time defining love because of its unique qualities, because of the fact that our definitions likely are our own, and they likely will change over time. We can use the word love to refer to a piece of food that we enjoy eating, and we can use the word love to refer to the person we are sharing our lives with, or to our children, or to our parents, to our friends, to our building. Right? We can use these words, but we don't often think about what we are actually saying when we say it. And here Sachs is giving us actually a very concrete idea of it within the Jewish context, within terms that we can understand. And if we can understand this, if we can really welcome this into our practice, our understanding of Judaism, if we can view Shabbat, if we can view the holidays as these moments, these opportunities for us to work together with God to create something, to co-create something, as Sachs suggests, Right? What a powerful concept that is. I think part of our challenge, spiritually speaking, as human beings, especially in the more recent centuries, is the sort of idea that we are passive actors in this story of sacredness. But what Sachs is telling us and what the Torah is telling us, and ultimately what God is telling us, is that actually we are active participants, and we must be active participants. And if we aren't active, holiness is not just going to exist on its own. It's not just going to reside in our midst on its own. Right? That God gives us the opportunity to create holiness alongside God, but that it is not just something that comes as a passive gift, as something that we would give to a child. And so I think right now, as we talked about a little bit last night, as we're all kind of struggling again in a world that is out of our control, we are struggling with concepts of time. We are struggling with concepts of space. We are struggling with concepts of holiness and of godliness and of connection, and ultimately of love. And we are being strained and in some ways pushed. And in some ways that is a challenge. In many ways that is a challenge. But it's also, as we've talked about really over the weeks, that there are also opportunities here. But the opportunities are only there if we do something with them. And if we try and reconceive of some of our preconceptions about Judaism and Jewish practice and Jewish life and Jewish time. If we can get past the challenges, the hurdles that are real and that do exist to fulfilling some of these obligations, I think what Sachs is telling us is that we will find ourselves creating that holiness all around us, individually, within ourselves, within our family units, within our communities, and ultimately speaking, within the entire world that we share. And right now, it seems day after day we are seeing attacks on the most sacred ideas that we have. But there is an answer to that, and the answer begins really inside. It begins with us connecting to our deepest selves, connecting to God, searching for the holiness around us, and working actively to create it in moments and in places and in circumstances. So with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. I hope I gave you a little bit of a charge to go out and do. And as I said, if you're going to join us for Torah study in a little bit, we're going to get a little bit deeper into this idea of the calendar and of the human part and responsibility of the Jewish calendar, and perhaps answering a few questions that have always been floating around in terms of how it is that we observe our holidays and when we mark them. So again, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. Just a reminder, our Torah reading this morning will be the first 11 verses of chapter 23. If you're following in the Plaut Chumash, it's on page 823, and in the Women's Torah Commentary on page 733, and then continuing on. Baruch hu et Adonai HaBorach. Baruch Adonai HaBorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem moadei Adonai asher tikru otam mikrei kodesh elehem moadai sheshet yamim taseh melacham u'ayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbaton Mikra Kodesh Kol Melacha Lo Tasu Shabbat Hi L'Adonai Bechol Moshvotechem Ele Moadei Adonai Mikra Kodesh Asher Tikru Otam B'Moadam B'Chodesh Harishon Be'arba Asar L'Chodesh Ben Ha'arbaim Pesach L'Adonai U'B'Chamisha Asar Yom L'Chodesh Hazem Chag HaMatzot L'Adonai Shivat Yamim Matzot Tochenu. Bayom Harishon Nikre Kodesh Yet Lachem. Kol Melechet Avodat Lo Tasu. Vehikravtem Ishel Adonai Shivat Yamim. Bayom HaShevi'i Mikra Kodesh. Kol Melechet Avodat Lo Tasu. Vayedaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor Daber El Bnei Israel V'amarta Alehem Ki tavo El Haaretz Asher Ani Noten Lachem Ukutzratem Et Ketziram Vehevetem Et Omer Reshit Ketzirchem El HaKohen Venif Et HaOmer Lifnei Adonai Lirtzonchem Mimachorat HaShabbat Yenifenu HaKohen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. We now take a moment with our Torah still in our midst to offer our prayer of healing. If you're following along at home, it'll be on page 371 at the top of the page. And of course, in addition to those that we're thinking of in our community and who are connected to our community directly, we think of the entire world at this time and hope and pray for a speedy recovery for all those suffering. Of course, as we have continued to do, to add in our thoughts and prayers a special attention to those who are helping in the process of healing, either directly or in support. Mishaberach avotenu ve'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. U'yivarech et hacholim ha'elu. Nancy Demate, Andrew Lesser, Linda Shapiro, Joanne Sanborn, Jean Ben Sadun, Gloria Tardash, Andrea Klausner, Judy Stern, Miriam Cornfield, Roz Brody, Chana Ruth Bat Sarah, Marlise Silverberg, Louis Davidson, Susan Spruce, Fagel Tzipora Bat Elisheva Bat Sarah, Richard Gambino, Michelle Sawicki, Idol Basha Bat Yitzchak, Tzvi Menachem Ben Chaim, Rivka Bat Devora, Amy and Gavin Tucker, Janice Kurz, David Dowling, Neil Elliott and Eileen Rosen, Israel Ben Yitzchak, Ben Sion Ben Moshe, Lorraine Danis, Buddy Kassoff, Shelley Newmark, David Kyle Klopman, Rivka Bat Rachel, Sarah Bat Chana, Moshe Eliezer Ben Sivia, Peretz Ben Yehuda, and Leah Bat Naomi. And if you're thinking of anyone this morning at home and you'd like to mention their names aloud, now would be the time. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem Lahachalimam L'Rapotam L'Chazikam V'Yishlach Lehem Mehira Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf Hashta B'Agalav Zman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are suffering. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say together, Amen. El na refanala, El na refanala, El na refanala, Refuah shelema, El na refanalo, El na refanalo, ask those at home to please rise as we lift and dress the Torah. Yamdu Hamagbiya Ve'abolel. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 תורה ציווה לנו משה. Please be seated. This morning's Haftarah comes from the book of Ezekiel. If you happen to have a Plat Chumash at home, it begins on page 846. If not, and you are on a website that gives you access to the Haftarot, again, you're looking for the book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verses 15 to 31. 15 to 31. And as you'll see, the connection to this week's Parsha is really largely to the experience of the priesthood. And this is fast-forwarding simply generations later until you get to Ezekiel, who was a prophet in the early 6th century BCE. So this is really during the days of the exile in Babylonia. So we'll begin with the blessings. If you want to follow along, those are on page 372 in our prayer book. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nviim tovim, v'ratza b'divrehem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher b'torah u'b'moshe abdo, u'Yisrael amo, v'b'niyeh ha'emet v'tzedek. Amen. Now the Levitical priests, who are descendants of Tzadok, faithfully kept charge of my sanctuary when the people of Israel were unfaithful to me. They may come near to me and serve me by offering me the fat and blood of sacrifices, says the sovereign God. They alone may enter my sanctuary and draw near to my table to serve me and keep my charge. They must wear linen clothing when they come through the gates to the inner courtyard, and wear nothing woolen when they serve in the gates of the inner courtyard or in the temple. Let them wear linen turbans and trousers, but nothing that makes them sweat. And when they go to the outer courtyard, where the people are, they must take off the clothing in which they serve, leaving them in the holy chambers. They must then put on other garments, so that they do not make the people holy through the touch of those garments. They are not to shave their heads, nor let their hair grow too long. They are only to trim their hair. No priest may drink wine before entering the inner courtyard. They must not marry widowed or divorced women. They may marry only Israelite virgins or the widows of priests. They are to teach my people the difference between the holy and the common, and let them know how to tell the pure from the impure. When there are disputes, they are to be the judges, and in judging, they are to follow my laws of justice. On all my religious festivals, they are to carry out my teachings and my laws, and they are to keep my Sabbaths holy. They are not to make themselves impure by coming into contact with a dead body, except in the case of a father or mother, a son or daughter, a brother, or an unmarried sister. After a priest has made themselves pure, 7 days are to be counted off for him. On the day when he returns to the inner courtyard to serve in the sanctuary, he must offer his purgation offering, says the sovereign God. This is to be their inheritance. I am their inheritance. You are to give them no property in Israel. I am their property. They shall eat the meal offering, the purgation offering, and the reparation offering, and everything in Israel that has been set aside shall be theirs. The priest shall also get the best of the first fruits of all kinds, and every offering of whatever you offer. You shall also give the priest the first loaf of whatever you bake, and a blessing will rest on your home. And priests are not to eat any bird or animal that dies a natural death or is killed by another animal. A lot to unpack there, which we can bring into our conversation, into our study. Blessing after the Haftarah is found on page 372 at the bottom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yoseh, המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen. We now rise, if we're able, at home as we turn to page 376 to first offer a prayer for our country, beginning at the bottom of the page, and then a prayer for Israel on the next page. If you would please join with me at home. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. And prayer for the state of Israel on the adjoining page. Avinu Shabashamayim Tzur Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu. Hagen aleha be'evrat chastecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha. Ushlach orcha ve'amidcha l'rasheha sareha ve'yoatzeha. V'taknem be'etzah tova milfanecha, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam liyoshveha, v'nomar Amen. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We remain standing as we turn to page 374 as we return the Torah to the Ark. Ya'alelu et Shem Adonai, ki nizkav shemo levado, odo al eretz v'shamayim, v'yarem keren li'amo, tehila lechol chasidav, libnei Yisrael am keroho. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Ki lekachto natati lachem torati al tazovu. Etz chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tom chea me'ushar. Teracheha narchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu, Kekedem. Remain standing as we turn to page 586 at the bottom of the page, Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We're on the bottom of page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
I ask those at home who are in mourning or observing yahrzeit to please remain standing. Everyone else may be seated. We first remember those who have passed in our community or connected to our community in recent months. Florence Bass, Nancy Fisher, Saul Fisher, Lee Friedman, Sandra Friedman, Arlene Mandelbaum, Maya Rosofsky, Vera Shaps, Lisa Schneidman, and Norma Small. We also mark the yahrzeits that occurred during the last week for, just make sure I have the right dates here. Bernard Baumstein, William Bennett, Koppel Berger, Evelyn Block, Irving Cassell, Rose Kopelman, Henry Decker, Leon Fagan, Ilsa Fowler, Arthur Fagenbaum, Bob Fisher, Lorraine Haber, Robert Jonas, Irving Kellman, my beloved grandmother Molly Kessler, William Cosberg, Morris Chris, Elena Lager, Maria Lemos, Howard Mazel, Danny Peskowitz, Robert Saltzman, Pearl Soroka, Martha Spitzer, Amy Stevens, Beatrice Tarlow, and Martin Weiss. If you have any names for someone that you're saying Kaddish for at home, now would be the time to offer those names. We join together in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayichonu v'yomechonu v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha berichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Zichronam livracha, may every one of their memories be for a blessing. Please be seated at home. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbos. In a moment, we'll conclude our service. But before we do that, I'm excited that I have announcements to make. Increasingly so, and then we will see more and more things coming in the days and weeks ahead. So the first is really just a point of gratitude, even though she's not digitally here this morning, just to thank student cantor Emily, who led a wonderful Zoom service last night, which was a first for our congregation, along with a lot of other firsts, but she did a wonderful job, and it was great to see, and very likely we will experiment with that format a little bit more on Friday nights as we go forward. But a great thanks to her, and again, just thanks to Alan Levin and his partner John, who helped us ultimately to make all of this technologically possible. So I will thank them as much as I possibly can for all of that. Just a few other upcoming events to note. The first is that there is a weekly Social Justice Committee meeting that's been happening on Zoom. And really just, again, a great thank you to Andy and Alyssa, who are the co-chairs of our program here at the temple, and all of the volunteers who have been helping over the last few weeks. And we've expanded our our assistance from sponsoring and taking care of one family to now I believe it's 8 families every week, which is a remarkable achievement and a remarkable effect on some real people who are in really, really tough spots right now. Along with all of the other organizations on the East End who are trying to help. It feels good, and I'm very proud of this community and how it's responded, and especially of the leadership of Andy and Alyssa, who really have taken from nothing and brought us to something really quite significant. So part of that is by having regular check-ins, regular meetings with those involved. So again, that will be tomorrow morning at 9:30. And speaking of tomorrow, it being Mother's Day, this is my point in which I offer my gratitude certainly to my own mother, to my wonderful wife Lou, the mother of our child, and to all the mothers in our community, one form or the other. Motherhood is not only defined by biology, it's defined by caring for and helping to guide and lead and grow. And so if you consider yourself to be a mother, if you have a mother of which you are thinking of who's no longer with us, I hope that tomorrow will be a meaningful day in which we really take time to acknowledge the special people in our lives and really thank you for all that you do, both those that have affected me directly and those that are just simply part of our community and each of your own families. To note also, coming up this week, we'll have our next, as I'm working on a name for it, but something of an online Keelan experience on Thursday at 7 o'clock. And for those that tuned in the first time where the audio was a little bit off, we've since, Keelan has a new microphone, and we figured out there was a setting on Zoom, long story short, should sound a whole lot better, more like what we had last night with Cantor Emily. So again, that'll be this Thursday, May 14th at 7 o'clock. Also, hopefully, our members got an announcement this week that on May 17th, a week from Sunday at 10 o'clock, we're going to have an online town hall of sorts, a way for me and our leadership to update you on a number of things, to answer some questions. For the nature of a project like this, or a program like this, I should say, we can't do a live Q&A. It would never really work. So if you do have questions, please submit them ahead of time so that we can look them over. We are not going to get to every question, most likely, and some of them may be questions that we are already planning to address. But if you have, concerns, questions, comments, whatever it may be, the information about how to share that ahead of time should have been in the email, and if not, just let me know and I will figure out a way to help with that. But we hope that we will get a lot of people participating and coming along, as we are, again, we are facing, a unique year ahead and some pretty big decisions that have to be made. And just so that you know, our leadership is constantly working to make sure that we are preserving and not just staying static, but really looking towards the future and making sure that this congregation will continue to thrive and to grow and to do all the things that we envision for it in the future. But all of that is contingent upon all of you. So please, if you can, make some time for us on Sunday, May 17th at 10 o'clock. Last, and I will give Ruth a chance to talk a little more in detail about it in our Torah study, but we're very grateful to Ruth Joseph, who is going to have her book group, which has always been such a wonderful part of our summer programming, online this summer, and all of it has been worked out, and the first upcoming date is Sunday, May 24th at 11 o'clock. So you just need to contact Ruth directly to find out more and to get signed up. So if you'd like, her email is Ruth letter E, Joseph, all one word, at yahoo.com. And again, all that information should be in the flyer. But if you have any questions, let me or let Ruth know, and we'll be happy to help. And the last, of course, is for those who are interested to join us for our online Torah study, which will begin promptly at 12 o'clock. Otherwise, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom and a Shabbat, I hope, of rest and peace. And I look forward to seeing you again in one form or the other next week, if I don't see you shortly. So we're going to conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 625, and then we'll skip over to Kiddush. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Be'acharei Kichlot HaKol Lemahado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Ober Vehu Yeh Betifara Vehu Echad Me'en Sheni Lehamshich
Yitzra Be'ueli V'chai Goalim V'tzor Chevli Be'etzaram Ve'unisi Umanosli Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Be'ado Afkid Ruchi Be'tishan Ve'aira Ve'meruchi Geviati Adonai Li Ve'lo Ira. Turn now to page 604 if you have a glass of grape juice or wine at home. Now would be the time, if you're able to please rise, join with me. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם על כן בירך עמדי את יום השבת ויקדשהו סברי חיים ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hope to see some of you online. And if not, have a wonderful week. Shabbat Shalom.